Welcome to the Epic Man Podcast, the show about the wildest news in entertainment and culture and everything in between. I'm Josiah, and with me, my singular friend and co-host, Mike. How are you doing today, Mike?
I'm the guy.
You are the guy. You are pretty much literally the guy.
The guy.
Once again, Ben is not here this week. We don't know where Ben is. We don't know what happened. It might just be Mike and I from now on. So
you know what? He probably drank some of that moon milk and got probed by the aliens.
Yeah.
That's on him. I told you guys not to drink that crap, and then here's Ben is. Now he's gone. We don't know where he is. Probably got a monolith shoved up his butt somewhere.
Yep. Maybe, for all we know, he might actually literally be the monolith in California.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were like, hey, come here. We gotta do something. Yeah,
we're gonna turn you into a monolith.
Hey, yeah, big metal monolith, and you can't go to your podcast and be with your friends anymore because you're a jerk. I'm doing good. I'm doing very good.
I'm glad.
I'm here. I'm ready to. There's a lot to talk about this week, man. It's been kind of a doozy this week. So,
man, yeah, we got a lot of juicy news to talk about this week.
Juicy.
Woo, man, and some of it is very sad. Some of it is, kind of cool, and we'll kind of go through all of it. So
absolutely.
So let's just get right off the bat here. Let's just go with the big spicy news of the week that everyone is talking about. Everyone is talking about, and some people are not happy at all about this. Actually, I would probably say kind of the majority of people are not very happy about this. Especially theaters. Theaters are not happy about this news at all. So this week, Warner Brothers decided to announce that they were going to do something completely insane, completely one of the most drastic things that has happened in the movie industry in a long, long time. They decided that next year, for 2021, they're going to release their entire slate of movies both on HBO Max and theaters at the same time. And that is not good. It is not good for theaters. It's not good for people who enjoy going to the movies or anything like that. And it's going to, they might, literally, like, I don't remember her name. What's her name? The lady who works over there, who is kind of like the PR manager or something. Let me see if I can find. What's that?
For HBO Max?
Or for Warner Brothers. Shoot, what's her name? I can't remember what her name is off the top of my head, but basically what she said was she literally Sarnoff, Ann Sarnoff, that's her name. Gotcha. So in a statement, Warner Media CEO Ann Sarnoff told The Hollywood Reporter that the studio's new release initiative was a reaction to unprecedented times, as the reality is that most theaters in the U.S. will likely operate at reduced capacity throughout 2021, which is literally no one's fault but, the government and everyone else. And I mean, that's just the simple case of the matter. It's a shame what is happening right now in our country. It really is. So with this unique one-year plan, we can support our partners in exhibition. What she says here is absolutely insane. So she says, with this unique one-year plan, we can support our partners in exhibition, so theaters, with a steady pipeline of world-class films, while also giving moviegoers who may not have access to theaters or aren't quite ready to go back to the movies the chance to see our amazing 2021 films. We see it as a win-win for film lovers and exhibitors, and we're extremely grateful to our filmmaking partners for working with us on this innovative response to these circumstances. So she calls this insane plan that they have of splitting the movies between theaters and the streaming service a win-win for movie theaters. Which when I read that, I was just like, what? There's absolutely no way that this is a win-win for theaters at all.
What she means by win-win is we win if you go to the theater. We also win if you just subscribe to HBO Max and watch our movies.
Yeah. I mean, it's a win-win for the studio.
Uh-huh.
It's not a win-win for the theaters.
No,
Absolutely
there's no way.
not at all.
No, absolutely. Like, dude, this year has been already like ridiculous. Like Cinemark, I think it was just like, oh, we just secured funding to stay open for next year. But like just happened. And then, some of these theaters like what is it? Not Celebration. AMC has been like working with Universal because they're trying to figure something out. Like, yeah. And then HBO's like, don't worry, we're just gonna, Warner Brothers is like, all of our movies are just gonna come to our streaming service. It's fine, and they'll be in theaters too. But if you just buy HBO Max, you can just watch it at home.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's probably exactly what they're thinking. They're thinking of this as a great opportunity to try to drive more people to HBO Max. And overall, that's going to be much better for them as a studio because it's going to allow them to, build up their subscribers, and they're going to be receiving all of the money from their subscriptions. So they're not going to have to share money with theaters or anything like that.
Nope.
And it literally screws over the theaters completely, 100%.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
And like, it's a difficult, it's not like they're not right that this is like unprecedented. Like, but the thing is, let's say next year, over 2021, HBO Max makes $1 billion for Warner Brothers. It probably won't be that much, but let's just say they make $1 billion next year.
Yeah.
Why would Warner Brothers have any incentive to go back to theaters at that point?
No, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
It's like, well, it's just for a year, but if we make a lot of money, then it's probably going to be forever, because if we make the money, then of course we're going to keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and I mean, we've been hearing this all year, right? Like, even things like 15 days to slow the spread and all this stuff, and it's turned into what, like hundreds and hundreds of days now to slow the spread,
and 250 days or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And so, when people say stuff like, "Oh, it's just for a year," and then after that, everything's just going to magically go back to the way it was. No, it's not. If you take this dramatic step like this to directly hurt theaters and improve your own studio, which I mean, as far as the studio goes, it's probably the smartest decision.
Yeah.
But it's not. I mean, beyond that, there's really no other good reason for it. And I mean, it's not going to go back to the way it was if you take this type of step.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so it's not smaller, but it's a smaller, but kind of like you can see the case for it already made with Microsoft Game Pass. Like, they literally have so many games on there, and now used games and places that like deal in used games like can't do that, because Microsoft is like, well, half of the games that anybody wants to buy are on our streaming service. So places like GameStop are like already suffering or already struggling with digital releases, are now like, oh, look at that. Now half the games that we could resell are now useless unless you want a physical copy. And for like this next generation of gamers, they don't even know half the time what a physical copy is. They've never even seen a physical copy. Like, literally, and I'm kind of at fault for this too. Like, my kids have literally only ever seen like a physical copy of a video game. Like, or when I bring some of my old games and put them on and like plug them into my Xbox, like that's the only time they ever see physical copies of those games. Like, so it's the same kind of thing. Like, I mean, they are saying, okay, hey, we're going to start releasing our own stuff. It goes directly into our pockets. And we're paying like for the movies to be made. But if we make $1 billion on this, like, that's a win for us, because we weren't making almost any money in theaters. And instead of it being like, hey, what can we do to make theaters better? Or what can we, they don't care. They never really have. I mean, we've always known that eventually streaming was going to be a thing, but like almost a prime opportunity for them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'm going to give HBO a little bit of kudos here, or Warner Brothers a little bit of kudos here, because I was impressed with the fact that like all of their movies are coming to their streaming service for free.
Yeah,
almost like
that is. I mean, yeah, that is compared to like what Disney Plus tried to do with Milan and stuff, which
yeah,
was a complete failure for them 100%.
yeah,
Yeah, the fact that they are at least releasing the movies for free on HBO Max, I guess is a win-win and stuff. And or a win-win for I guess the people that are going to be subscribed to HBO Max.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know cuz I don't know. Maybe I'm just kicking against the system, and I don't want to see theaters go because I love going to the theaters and stuff. But I don't know. Like theaters are just such a like going to the movies, going to the theaters is just such a important I guess part of our culture. I feel like,
yeah,
and the fact that we're seeing that die, and it's not just theaters. This kind of, I mean, it kind of feels like this point, our entire society is getting restructured in a way because of everything that has gone on this year for a disease that has a 99.999% survival rate. And like our entire society is being restructured, you know, social gathering places are being completely wiped out. uh Everything is being changed because of this one thing that is going on. And to me, that's just absolutely crazy. That is a crazy thing that is going on.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and theaters is just another part of that. That's just being affected by that. And people, a lot of these theaters are not happy about what is going on. They've been speaking out about this all week and stuff. And
yeah.
I just saw that there was one. It was like a local theater chain for one of the states. I can't remember which state it is off the top of my head, but there was a local theater chain at one of these states. I think it might have been New Jersey, I think. But they literally just announced yesterday that they're closing down their entire local theater chain, and it's done. It's gone.
Wow. Yeah,
Just think about our local theater chain and stuff,
yeah,
and it would be so depressing to
yeah.
if they announce one day, hey, it's over. We're done.
We can't do anything.
That's like hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs that are being lost as well. And
Mm-hmm.
man,
Yeah.
not good. It's sad.
No,
It's really sad.
it's extremely sad. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an unprecedented time for people. I mean, like there really was no way to see this coming. But I mean, also, like there has to be a balance. And I don't know, the thing with theaters, the unfortunate thing with theaters is that there hasn't been, and it's small businesses in general. I mean, not to get super political about it. I mean, but like the small businesses in general have really suffered this year.
Mm-hmm.
And so these bigger corporations, I mean, like look at Amazon has made like triple their normal revenue or something in like a year, less than a year, because people can't leave their homes, or for a while they couldn't leave their homes. Unless you're in California, you still can't leave your home, and so they have to, like, they have almost no choice. And then these theaters or these big movie conglomerates are like, oh my gosh, we're losing all this money. I'm like, theaters have been losing monies for years because of you guys and how you operate and how much you take from theaters and all that stuff. I mean, so what are they supposed to do? And then now you're like, well, hey, by the way, we're also just going to start launching our stuff online for ourselves, but the unfortunate thing is, why would they do anything differently? Like, why would they say, hey, you know what, let's see if we can partner with theaters and keep them open? Because they don't care. They want revenue for themselves. And now this is like the best way to basically cut out the middleman. But I absolutely agree. I've always loved theater experiences. I think that certain movies are almost like needed to be seen in theaters. Like,
exactly.
I mean, that's
like, do you know how depressing it's going to be if we aren't going to be able to watch Dune in theaters? Like that's going to be so sad.
Super sad. Like, I mean, it's like, like it's a huge spectacle, and I'm going to watch it on my TV, and like, sure, my setup is fine, and I mean, like, it'll be fun, I guess, but like way different than going with your friends and going to a theater and sitting down in the theater with a bunch of people, and everybody reacting and watching a movie together. What I hope my optimistic hope is that theaters will survive this, and then people will appreciate them more. And then what we'll see is like a lot of people who used to take theaters like for granted, or used to like complain all the time about theaters, will be just happy to go back and be like, I'm glad that I'm here. I'm glad I'm able to support this business and see them do well. But
yeah,
we've seen with video rentals places, like they're dying because like, what are they supposed to do? How do you compete with streaming services that have all of your content? Or every time a new movie comes out, instead of it going to your place of business and then people having to come to you or whatever, like it just pops up on Netflix the day after it like drops out of theaters, and now nobody comes and rents movies anymore. I mean, like, it's unfortunate, and it's sad to see, but like, I mean, even here we've seen like our local movie chains, or like video rental sites like Family Video and stuff, like closing like crazy.
And it's really sad because I knew a lot of the people that worked at my local Family Video. Every time they knew me by name, they knew me on a first name basis, and I'd go in there a few times a week, and I'd get movies and stuff, and I'd chat with them as I was getting these movies. We'd and it's like that's just like that's community right there. And you're now I'm thinking about those people and the fact that they are now probably out of work and they're trying to find new jobs and stuff, and I'm never going to see them again because Family Video is probably not going to be a thing really in the future. And it's like it's just really sad to think about, like the sense of community. I mean, it already was kind of suffering a little bit, but now, especially this year, it feels like it's just taken a complete nosedive in a lot of ways.
It sucks. It really does. And I really feel for everybody that works at theaters, everybody that works in video rental places, everything, and all of these places that have had to close down this year. And like, I don't know, the same with like GameStop. I mean, it always like breaks my heart when like you see like a GameStop close, because you're like, man, I used to like go and hang out with these guys, and I have friends that like I made at like GameStop, or I had friends that I made at like Family Video that I would talk to all the time, or like going inside the theater and stuff like was an experience. And then like some of the people that you work at theaters with, like you see them, like the kazoo guy. So just for everybody at home, like we used to have a guy that worked at the theater, and he used to like play a kazoo. He was like an older guy, but like he always like wore like cool outfits and like all this stuff, but like that was like a fun like thing to remember. Like it was an event, and like I remember like it was awesome. Like on my daughter's birthday, like we went and saw Frozen, and or Frozen 2. Yeah, we went and saw Frozen 2 with like a bunch of her friends, and like it was a big thing, and they could dress up and stuff. And now it's like, come over to our house and watch a movie on our TV because it's like, yay. Like it's just not the same. So it really sucks. And like I get why HBO is doing it. I get why Warner Brothers is doing it. But at the same time, it does set a precedent for like, now that you're doing it, somebody else is going to do it. That's the other thing. We're already seeing like, cable was suffering horribly, which to be honest, a lot of that is on cable companies too, for their outrageous prices, and then expecting us to pay them outrageous prices for watching commercials.
Right. Yeah. Like, exactly.
But we're watching like cable companies suffer because people are cutting cable. But now you have so many streaming services, that like, the big three, like Amazon, Netflix, and now HBO Max, like are the guys. But like, then you also have like CBS starts their own streaming service and all this stuff. So what's next? Like Universal's going to start their own streaming service, or, like all these other companies are going to start their own streaming. And now all of a sudden we have a thing where it's not just, all of these movies are available. Now it's like, well, you can only watch this movie on Apple TV.
Yep.
Or you can only watch this movie on Netflix, or you can only watch this movie on this place or that place. And now you're paying just as much as you were for cable to watch a movie, maybe one movie that you want to see out of the whole year, because you have to pay for their subscription service.
It's stupid.
So then it's like, and that's going to be the inevitable thing too, is like everybody, now that they see it's a profitable business, thing, like everybody's going to want to do it, and everybody's going to find every chance that they get. And now all of a sudden, we're in a situation where theaters close and people out of jobs, and then also like you still have to pay more to go see movies, and probably more than you did when you just went and saw a movie every month.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure innovation is going to come along eventually, and you know, as we start to move more to streaming and stuff, I'm sure. At least I hope. I mean, I think that I don't see why they wouldn't do this in the first place. It seems like this would be a smart business thing to do, but they should like just like have kind of like storefronts on their streaming services where if you want to watch a movie but not pay for the streaming service because there's only literally like one movie you want to watch, you can rent it or buy it or whatever else right there on the streaming service, and you know, and not have to pay for a subscription and stuff. Like it seems like that would be a really smart thing for them to do. So maybe we'll get some of that type of stuff in the future. But it seems like that would be a smart thing to do for them. And so we'll see. But yeah, like I'm not gonna be paying for every single one of these subscriptions.
No.
Like I've already turned down some of them. Like I haven't signed up for like Apple TV or anything like that. Or even though there's some shows on there that I'm like, oh, that looks like kind of like a pretty cool show. I'm not gonna pay for every single one of these subscriptions. I'm just not. No. I'm not gonna do it.
No, like it's ridiculous, and that's the thing. Like, and then now we're just gonna, you know, it's like, and this is not to rip on PlayStation. I'm not trying to take shots at Sony. I mean, I am, but I'm also not. It's the same thing with exclusives. Like, you have exclusives to your console, so people that prefer the other console don't get to play your games. But then also, like, imagine you're like an indie developer, you know, and you sign an exclusive deal with like with Sony. And they're like, cool, it comes out on PlayStation, and you have, let's say your game is amazing, and you have 10 million people buy your game. Awesome. But imagine if it was on Xbox as well and on PC. Then that 10 million people turns into like 30 million people. I mean, like, you know, that's the thing too, is like when you make things that are exclusive to your service, then you make people have to make a choice on what they want and what they don't. And then sometimes people miss out on great art and great stuff, or people that are making good content, like they don't get the exposure that they used to. I mean, it used to be if a good movie came out and word of mouth got around, like that movie goes to the theaters where it's not exclusive to anywhere and everybody can see it, and then the movie makes a ton of money because people really want to see it. I mean, like we've seen that, like Joker did amazing because word of mouth got around that the movie was amazing. Everybody went and saw it, and everybody was excited. Like with Deadpool, like a ton of people went to see Deadpool at the beginning, but it was word of mouth that like, oh my gosh, this movie's amazing, go see it, that made it make as much money as it has. Like, and now it's like, okay, well, hey, you should go watch this movie, it's really awesome. People are like, oh cool, where's it at? Oh, it's on Apple TV. Well, I'm already paying for Netflix. You know, and I'm already paying for HBO Max, and I'm already paying for Disney Plus and Amazon, because Amazon, like, I need it for other things too. Like, So now what am I supposed to do? I'm not going to pay for another streaming service, you know. And then you have like other art that, you know, isn't being seen like it should too. And that's the other unfortunate part of it. And like I said, not to just rip on Sony, but that's like, for me, that's the one thing that bothers me about exclusives, is that like, could you imagine like how much money Spider-Man and like that company would have made had it been exclusive, like, or open to all consoles? Like, you would have blown up. I mean, we've seen it with Skyrim. Like, look how much money Skyrim has made for Bethesda because like it released on all the consoles. Like, or when a game that was exclusive to like Xbox or exclusive to PC or something comes to the other consoles, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting to play this for forever, you know? So, but it's, you know, I think the one interesting thing is that video games have been like a microcosm of what's happening with theaters, and you can see the suffer and like the fallout that's happened from video games doing that. I mean, you know, everything going digital means nobody buys physical copies, which means places that sell physical copies don't have anything to sell anymore. And, you know, if you can just sit at home and press a button and buy it, why would you go into GameStop? Like, I remember like when GameStop releases were like the big thing. Like the new Call of Duty came out, and you'd have like lines all the way out the side of the mall because people were like pumped, and like you're in line with people that are all talking about a game and hyped about a game, and like there's a big deal. Like releases were like a huge thing, and it was super fun to be like out at midnight waiting for like your game release and stuff. You know, now you can just sit at home and you just whatever, new game coming out, and you just buy it and like whatever. Like it's destroyed like the sense of community and over the years, it's made it harder and harder for people to like connect with each other. Yet we're more connected than we ever have been at the same time. And it sets this weird, like, precedent. And it's this weird, like, juxtaposition of things to be like more connected than we ever have been, but be also more disconnected than we ever have been. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is really strange.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of the, I guess, social media online connections are in a lot of ways kind of a superficial version of connection, I guess, in community.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It is really weird. And I don't really know what's going to be happening over the next couple of years with everything. It's entirely possible that we might be just looking at the worst case scenario of things, and maybe people will be kind of like, hey, maybe we do need more of a sense of community again, and maybe we need more ways to connect with people and have social gatherings and stuff like that. Maybe people will be kind of like longing for that now that they kind of are missing it,
Yeah.
and it'll kind of have a resurgence, which would be really cool to see.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, so there's a possibility that something like that could happen, but it's just really hard to say right now with the way that things are. And I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just preparing my mind to just expect that things are going to be very different moving forward. So, and it is kind of sad because even like in what was like like 2019 and stuff, like a lot of these theater chains and stuff, they were trying to innovate. They were trying to adapt to the changing world and stuff, and a lot of them were releasing even their own like subscription things where you could subscribe to a theater basically, and then you can watch whatever you want at a theater every month, and that was really cool to see. And I was actually our local theater chain just started to do that like towards the end of 2019 and stuff, and
that was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. And so I don't know, maybe, I mean, we are an adaptive species and stuff, so maybe we'll adapt and things will work out, but yeah, it's just really, really difficult to say right now where things are going to be going. So
absolutely. Wow, that got really dark and sad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, it is a serious topic, though. It is.
Oh, it's absolutely a serious topic, and it needs to be addressed. And I think people need to talk about it, because I think people need to, it's one of those things where like we all have an opportunity to decide what we want to do and how we want to go forward. And the only thing that talks to big corporations is money. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I'm not like, who am I to say, like, boycott this or boycott? I don't necessarily think there's anything necessarily about boycotting, but there is an interesting precedent to say, like, hey, if you don't want movie theaters to disappear, go see a movie.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying don't be safe. If you're concerned, wear your mask. Like, say, hey, like, I'm gonna get a seat. Ask, like, I mean, I'm sure theaters are gonna accommodate people that want to be safe. That's fine. Like, but just open your mouth and let them know, like, this is what we want, because we want to support you guys over being comfortable or whatever, because like, you don't have to be in the theater and be scared either, like there's some really, like, literally, it's not even like that difficult. Just make people, you can't get adjacent seats unless you're with the same group. So you don't have to sit next to the sweaty guy that's like has 2 tubs of popcorn, because I didn't want to sit next to him anyways. But then, like, or like something crazy like, hey, you know what, if you gotta, like, at the end of the movie, you're like, really, everybody be courteous and release by rows. Like, go out of so you're not all touching each other, and the sweaty guy that with his 2 tubs of empty popcorn isn't rubbing against you, because I didn't want that anyways. Yeah. But like, there are ways to like deal with this, and I think that's the thing. If we want to see theaters survive, and we want to see those kind of experiences thrive and continue, and we want these companies to go like, okay, you know what? People have been flocking to theaters again. Maybe we keep that going. Maybe we adjust a little bit. Then, like, let your money talk. Like, they don't have to, like, you don't have to be at the mercy of them saying, hey, we're going to release all our movies, because they didn't say we're only releasing our movies on HBO Max. They said movies and HBO Max, like theaters and HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
You go see them at theaters, and more people go see them at theaters than they do on HBO Max. Then maybe that talks and tells them, hey, maybe people want to go back to theaters. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, that is 100% correct. I completely agree with that. And
Yeah.
I think you're really hitting the nail on the head there. You know, if we want to, we need to go see these. I mean, I'm going to, I mean, we live in Michigan, so who knows what's going to happen. We might not even be able to watch any of these movies in theaters. But if we have that choice with these movies, I will absolutely go watch them in theaters and support the theaters as much as I can. And I encourage everyone to do the same if you're able to. You know, obviously, you know, and that's the thing. You know, I think that people should just be able to make that choice for themselves. You know, I don't think that you know, I don't think that you should be forced to basically do whatever the government tells you to do with this entire situation. I personally, I think that it should be up to the individual and stuff.
Listen,
so
we get rid of Ben and Josiah bringing some hot takes. You know, that's the thing. Like, once again, not to get political, because this is like a nerd podcast and stuff, like, but the thing is, like, if you let the government tell you what to do, the government's going to do whatever, like, it decides is the best for you to do. Sometimes the best for you to do is whatever lines the pockets of the people that, like, there's lobbyists and stuff that are constantly, like, talking to the government about, hey, what if we do it like this, or what if we do this, or man, you guys should pass these kind of policies, stuff like that. Like
Yep. No one knows what is best for you as yourself and your individual more than you. You know, it's you know yourself the best. Not the government. You should be able to make that choice for yourself. If you don't want to go to the theaters because you don't feel comfortable, that should be your choice. If you do want to go to the theaters, that should also be your choice.
That should also be your choice. And the thing is, like, as a social thing, like, if the discussion is and the argument is, like, don't do this because you could be potentially harming other people, well, then that needs to be a discussion amongst community.
Yeah,
because that's the thing.
Exactly.
Like, if you say, like, well, don't go to a theater and then come home and kiss your grandma because you could kill your grandma, well, like, if somebody has been conveniently warned, like, look how many people still smoke. Like, they're like, this thing, this tiny little cigarette literally causes cancer and literally destroys your body. It's a terrible thing, and people are like, okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, you know, like, oh, well, it's like, I have a friend who, she's been over to France. She has, like, friends in France. She's like, everybody in France smokes. Like, so many people smoke, and literally, like, on the boxes of their cigarette, like, things, they have, like, pictures of, like, lung cancer and, like, people with, like, horrible disease, like, gross pictures, because they're like, don't buy these cigarettes because look at the pictures on them. People in France are like, so I'll take 2 packs of that one, and you know, like, and they still smoke all the time, like, because people being given the choice can decide what they want to do for themselves.
Exactly.
But you saying, like, you can't have cigarettes anymore because they're bad for you. It's like, okay, well, like, that should be my choice. Like, yeah, it's stupid. Doesn't mean that it's right, but, like, people should be also allowed to be stupid if they want to be stupid. Like, that's the thing too. Like, I mean, that's how you survive and grow as a species, is if, like, literally, like, your go-to, like, answer. Like, if every bird, like, every seagull in the world tomorrow decided to, like, drown themselves in the ocean, well, like, then we wouldn't have seagulls anymore. And guess what? You know whose fault that is? The seagulls' fault for drowning themselves in the ocean.
Yeah. Exactly.
But, like, could you imagine if we were like, no, you stupid seagulls, you can't drown yourself in the ocean? So we, like, lock all the seagulls up in cages and go, like, don't go out there. They're trying to drown themselves. We got to stop the seagulls from drowning themselves. They're seagulls. Like, they don't, like, if they die out, it's unfortunate. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants anybody to die. Nobody wants anybody sick. Like, nobody is advocating, you know what? Fuck my grandma. She can die. Like, she's lived long enough. Nobody's trying to say that. Yeah. But what people are trying to say is, like, listen, we want a choice. Like, we want options, and we want to be able to choose to be safe or not be safe. Yeah. And
I mean, it goes with everything in life, you know, because you can always be safer in life if you want to. You know, you can decide not to drive a car and just walk on a sidewalk everywhere you go, and that would be a lot safer than driving a car. But yet we still decide to drive cars and stuff because we like to have that freedom. We like to be able to move around fast and all those other things. It's more of a risk, but we do it anyway. It goes with everything in life. You know, you can always be safer in life if you want to, but people don't realize that you do take more risks than you realize in life. And you know, just because the mainstream media has completely made everyone completely terrified this year about this 99.999% survival rate disease, people think that they're literally going to die if they step outside, and it's really sad. And you know, you know, you should just be able to decide what is best for you, and that's just my simple message, you know. So
size hot take. Listen,
yeah,
you know. But so we've talked about that a lot.
Yeah,
and it's super sad and super depressing. But
yes,
there's also some news.
Warner Brothers trying to make up for it. So
listen, the thing that Warner Brothers did right,
the crappy video game movie.
The thing that Warner Brothers did right. Listen to these. Suicide Squad 2. Mortal Kombat.
Yay.
A new Mortal Kombat. Space Jam 2.
Yay.
Space Jam 2. Matrix 4. Yay. Godzilla versus King Kong. Doom. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, as much as I don't like and want to go see these movies in theaters, and will most likely go see these movies in theaters, bro, I have wanted a new Mortal Kombat movie since Annihilation kicked me in the teeth.
Wow.
And made me feel like I wanted to die. Because Mortal Kombat Annihilation is literally one of the worst movies ever made. Yeah, it's fun, but if anybody tells you, man, I'm a fan of that movie, they're lying to you. Unless they're a fan of the movie because it's so bad that it's good. But listen, I love me some Mortal Kombat. The first movie is so ridiculously stupid and awesome. It is like part of like my growing up. Dude, Mortal Kombat, the game, was like the coolest thing ever. It's still cool. Like, listen, I want me some Mortal Kombat. And they announced that they're giving me Mortal Kombat, and I am all for it.
All right. Well, there you go. You're hyped. You're
hyped.
I'm
hyped. But I'm not just hyped for Mortal Kombat. Listen, Godzilla King Kong, like Godzilla, a giant ape versus a giant lizard that blows radioactive fire out of its mouth.
Yep.
Come on now. Who isn't excited for that?
Yeah. I mean, I'm down. I'm down to see it. You know, I wouldn't say that I'm like super duper excited about it, but I will watch it.
Josiah's trying to be Ben, and he's trying to make a hot take on stuff. It's fine. But he knows we need this right now. Also, Suicide Squad 2, like, we're getting Suicide Squad, but better than it was, because it's not even called Suicide Squad 2. It's literally called The Suicide Squad, because they're like,
oh, yeah.
Let's just pretend like this last movie didn't happen.
Like, this is The Suicide Squad.
This is The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, the last one, fake.
Listen,
fake news.
Directed by James Gunn. You know he's good at ensemble casting.
True.
Idris Elba. You know, Margot Robbie. Michael Rooker. Like, listen,
Margot Robbie's the only thing I'm excited about from that, to be honest.
Well, but it's Idris Elba. Come on, like,
I do like Idris Elba a lot too. Yeah, he's awesome. Wait, who's he playing? Cena? I don't even remember who Idris Elba is.
I don't even remember. I don't know who he's playing. Listen, don't worry about who they're playing.
I do love me some Idris Elba. So I guess Idris Elba and Margot Robbie. That's pretty fire right there. That's pretty fire.
John Cena. You're not excited?
I mean, John Cena's just kind of like, you know, he's there, he's doing his thing.
That's that's completely fair. I completely understand. Listen, I'm gonna read this cast list.
Okay.
Because some of these are legit.
Okay.
Margot Robbie.
Yep.
Idris Elba.
Awesome.
John Cena. Peter Capaldi, who is the second Doctor, the last male Doctor in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, okay, yeah. Come on.
Viola Davis.
Okay, yeah. All right, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Jai Courtney, who somehow hasn't destroyed this franchise yet.
I don't know why they still have him around, but
Michael Rooker.
Okay, that's awesome.
Mary Poppins, Taika Waititi.
Okay, yeah.
Nathan Fillion. Like, listen.
Okay. I mean, that's a pretty good cast. That's a pretty solid cast.
And there's a ton of other people that probably nobody knows about, but you know, I'm sure they're going to have a fun time. Listen, I'm pumped for Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide Squad. But listen, it gets better.
Okay.
The Matrix 4.
Okay.
Obviously, I have no idea. idea what's going to happen.
Literally not excited about that at all.
The Matrix is one of my favorite movies of all time. It is in my top 3 greatest movies I've ever seen. I love The Matrix. It's the only movie that I can actually legitimately say I have seen well over 100 times.
Wow.
I love that movie.
What about the second and third ones?
Well, those happened. But what I'm excited about is Matrix 4. Looking back on the last 2 movies and go, yeah, listen, we know what we did. We know what we did.
Yeah.
Let's do it better than what we did before. That's what I want. Mm-hmm. Keanu Reeves is a national treasure. We've talked about this before. Everybody loves Keanu Reeves. I want me some more Keanu Reeves as Neo. I want more Keanu Reeves kicking butt and taking names as the chosen one.
True. Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, I agree. I absolutely agree. I mean, I will always support my man Keanu no matter what,
Keanu Reeves. Listen. And then, guys, Dune, we've already talked about this. Dune is going to be amazing. We all know this.
That's true.
Warner Brothers is swinging for the fences here.
Yeah.
But listen. Listen. Space Jam 2. They did it. Everybody since the dawn of time has said, listen, what we need more than anything right now is a second Space Jam movie. The first one, a masterpiece.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
A masterpiece in filmmaking. No movie has ever done what Space Jam did. Sports,
aliens,
aliens, all of it. Just all of it.
Yeah.
Basketball, aliens, basketball,
more basketball,
Michael Jordan, more basketball. Listen,
Bugs Bunny,
Space Jam 2 is, I think, going to be the thing that changes the world for the better.
I hope you're right. Listen, I hope you're right.
Warner Brothers, if they told me, they're like, listen, we're only releasing Space Jam 2 on our streaming service, everything that we just talked about would be out the window. I would cancel all my other subscriptions and buy HBO Max.
Wow. All right.
To watch me Space Jam 2.
Wow. All right. Wow. You must be really into that. I honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna have to wait and see when they release the trailer and stuff. To me, it's entirely possible it could be just crap.
Yeah. We don't need a trailer. We already know this is a masterpiece.
Like the first one, I will give you the first one is absolutely a masterpiece. 100%. It is the classic of classics.
The classics of classics.
But
listen, it is basically like every movie that you've ever heard about that's like a classic, better than that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I would put Space Jam up there with like Princess Bride, like it's up there.
Bride.
It's up there.
Let's go a little bit farther, Gone with the Wind, Titanic, all these amazing movies. Space Jam, better.
Space Jam is up there. But Space Jam 2? I don't know. I have a really hard time believing it's going to be anywhere near the first one at all, and I don't think it's going to be. I think they're going to be trying to really play off of the first one in a lot of ways, and it's just going to fall flat. It's just going to completely fall flat.
Don't do this.
That is my opinion about
this.
Don't
do this. Don't be negative like this. Listen, we're getting a Space Jam 2. It's something the world needs right now. I need you to be on board with this.
The problem is maybe Warner Brothers has learned their lesson a little bit. I really hope they have. But I can just see a bunch of the CEOs and stuff that work at Warner Brothers just like being like, oh, well, you can't do that in this movie. You have to do this because that's what they liked in the first one. And people are gonna be like, okay, doesn't really fit in this movie and stuff, but we'll do it anyway. So then they do it, and then the whole movie just becomes crap because Warner Brothers, they love to. I'm just gonna admit something here. Okay, I'm just gonna admit something here. I'm coming clean. I'm gonna be honest.
No.
I'm gonna be completely honest.
Oh no.
I'm still bitter. Okay, I'm bitter. I am very, very bitter right now. I'm very angry right now.
So bitter. Okay.
At Warner Brothers, ever since they completely messed up The Hobbit. ever since then, I have completely been
You know
super
what?
pissed at Warner
I can
Brothers.
understand that.
And I hate the fact that the people, all these stuffy people in suits who work in their offices at Warner Brothers, I don't know, maybe they don't wear suits, I don't know, but they, you know, they get their fingers in the creative process in all of these movies that they have going on, especially their blockbuster movies. When they have these big movies that are going to be like their big hits of the year, they love to get their little grubby, stuffy office fingers in those movies, and it completely ruins the movies. Time again.
I can understand that. I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I just think Space Jam is so good that you can't mess it up with a sequel.
I hope you're right. I really, really, really hope you're right.
Listen,
about
you mark my words. Space Jam 2, instant classic.
All right.
Listen, best picture of the year, best director, best actor, Bugs Bunny, best actress, Lola Bunny, best supporting actor,
dude,
whoever the guy is. I'm pretty sure it's LeBron James.
No cap.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I had a huge crush on Lola Bunny. Not gonna lie. Huge crush.
So we gotta find another topic to talk about. I'm sorry, everybody. We went in a different direction than I was expecting. We're going with this.
One of my first crushes. Not gonna lie.
Listen,
anyway.
I get it, man. I get it. I ain't judging. Lola Bunny, they did that on purpose. They knew what they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
They knew what they were doing. But
okay, so kind of going back to the whole Warner Brothers thing and the Hobbit stuff. I have to, because this actually came out this week, guys. So this is relevant.
Get on your soapbox. Go for it.
This is relevant information right here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jed Brophy, who played Nori in The Hobbit. Okay, he said this literally just this week. Okay, he said this. So, he was in an interview and stuff. He was talking with some New Zealand podcast or something like that, and he said this. Warner Brothers got in the way. He said. He then turned towards The Hobbit by saying, "I may be speaking out of turn here, and probably if those people ever find me, I'll get slammed. But I think that Warner Brothers kind of got in the way of Peter Jackson and The Hobbit. None of them are people that can actually look at a script and in their head imagine how you can actually get the best drama out of that. And if you get in the way of that process, you're actually stopping someone from actually getting a flow on. And that's what I think happened. That's what I could see happening, is that there was not the same flow. Now, Peter Jackson would see stuff on Lord of the Rings and get this amazing idea about how you could shoot the next scene from stuff that was already happening on set. But if you've got people dictating what your day is going to be, then that stops."
Wow.
Dude,
that's serious.
He went all in on that. And
I went hard paint on Warner Brothers.
You know how pissed off I am after reading that we could have gotten an amazing Hobbit movie. Peter Jackson's actually in the this has nothing to do at all with any of this stuff. Well, it kind of does because it's Warner Brothers.
It has everything to do with this is Josiah. Keep going.
This is the Warner Brothers episode. So
that's all it is.
Yeah. So
we're not talking about anything else.
Peter Jackson, in the beginning, wanted to do The Hobbit as 2 movies. Just 2. Not 3. Not 3. But then the studio got involved. And they're like, you know what? We can make more money this way. Let's buff it up. Let's make it into 3 movies. Let's just pack it full of a bunch of cheesy crap, and we'll make it into 3 movies. I am so freaking mad that we could have gotten 2 solid, just amazing Hobbit movies, and instead we ended up with what we had. You know, it's just it gets me every single time. It gets me every.
You guys hear this anger. If you're watching on YouTube, you see the anger. This man has been hurt.
Lord of the Rings are my favorite movies of all time. Nothing even comes close to touching Lord of the Rings for me. Not even close.
Except Space Jam. But
yeah.
We all know. We all know where Space Jam sits in the best movies of all time.
Yeah. I was so excited for The Hobbit when they were going to be making it and stuff, and man, I was all into that. And then And then we got
Yeah.
the crap that we did. And
Yeah.
I mean, the same thing kind of happened with Justice League as well, right?
Listen, we don't need to bring Justice League into this. Don't do that. Don't do that.
And now, look, okay, you know what? Zack Snyder, he's getting to release his Snyder cut and all that stuff. We need the Jackson cut of The Hobbit. Give us the Jackson cut. Release the Jackson cut.
You guys heard it here. The Jackson cut. Nobody saw this coming, but we knew. The Jackson cut. Listen, I don't disagree. I enjoyed the first Hobbit for what it was. I was like, this is a fun, whimsical take on The Hobbit. The dwarves are kind of weird looking and a lot of CGI, like a lot of CGI.
Yeah.
But then I was like, you know what? We'll make it work. And then they were like, by the way, there's 2 other films. And I'm like, isn't The Hobbit shorter than like all the other books? And they're like, shut it. We have 2 movies to make. And then the second one came out.
Yeah.
And Legolas was in it. And I was like, why is he here? And they're like, because we needed Legolas. And here's this other character that we just randomly made up because we needed more girl power. I'm like, well, would you need more girl power if you just did the first book and then just made it a movie or 2 movies? And they're like, listen, shut it again. This is a thing. And then Galadriel showed up in the second one. And then like there was like a big like weird wizard battle at the end against shadow creatures and stuff. And then the Battle of the 5 Armies, which is like literally a paragraph long, was like, like, listen, it's a paragraph long in a Tolkien novel. The man spends like 18 pages talking about the color of the trees in a forest, and he spent a paragraph on a battle, and they're like, we can make that a full movie. We can make that up. Yeah, I think we could stretch that out into a full movie. They like literally kill Smaug in like the worst way. They're like, listen, big dragon, forget that dude.
Yeah.
We'll just have this, like, listen, let's have this random ass dude he just died. Like, listen, I know how it goes in the book. All I'm saying is the way they handled it was garbage. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
The Hobbit movies are terrible. I mean, the first one, like I said, I don't hate the first one, but I hate it now because of all the other things that came after it. We don't need to bring Justice League into this completely. That is another, listen, I'm going to tell you guys right now, we could have a full episode about me ranting about Justice League, and I still wouldn't have enough time to talk about it. 5-hour podcast, still wouldn't have time. But
hey, at least you're getting your stupid little Snyder cut, right? At least you're getting that.
It's not stupid. It's needed. Listen, Warner Brothers is giving me a Snyder cut, and they're giving me Space Jam 2. And I can't ask for any more than that.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you're happy, Mike. I'm glad you're happy.
I'm beyond happy. And I will be beyond happy when I watch my Snyder cut and I die a happy man.
I'm just going to be continuing to be sad because I never got the Hobbit movie that I wanted, you know?
Well, listen, if the Snyder cut does well, we start down that trail, guys. Listen, hashtag Jackson cut.
I will. I'm actually going. I'm going to do that. I'm going to make that a thing. I don't even freaking care.
Do it.
I'm going all in. I'm going all in on this.
Go back, remake the Hobbit movies, pretend they didn't happen. And you know what?
Or you know, they could even probably edit down all 3 movies into like one movie that's actually good.
Boom. You heard it here.
They actually might be able to do that.
Jackson cut.
Chop Tariel out because she's garbage.
Chop Legolas out.
Chop out Legolas because there's
movie.
Literally no reason for him to be there, and he looks super cringy because he looks like a CGI character. And just chop out all of the fluff, all of the crap, narrow it down into like maybe even either one movie or like two movies. It might even be able to just be one movie, and you might actually end up with a pretty good movie.
Hey, I'm not disagreeing with you.
We need to make this happen.
Listen, we already made the Snyder cut happen.
Yeah.
And I get to sit in happiness while I watch that, knowing that I and the other fans of Zack Snyder's vision made that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when has that ever happened again? You know? Mm-hmm. That's my thing. Listen, if Snyder was so bad, if Batman vs. Superman was such garbage, if Man of Steel was so terrible, why are we getting a Snyder cut?
Because Justice League was trash when it first came out.
So you're saying that a movie was so bad that the bad that we got before was good enough to give this guy another movie?
Well, I mean, you know.
I don't know. Something's a little sus here. I'm
I mean,
sussing all of you.
I
If you're
mean,
not a fan of Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel, if you're not a fan of the Snyder Cut,
I
I'm
like Man
sussing
of
you.
Steel.
You're imposters.
I like Man of
Imposters.
Steel.
Listen, if you don't like Batman vs Superman, I'm sussing you right now. You're an imposter. You are one of the aliens that brought those damn monoliths and dropped them off in Utah. You are one of them.
Yeah.
You guys heard it here. Me and Josiah's an alien.
Yeah. I mean,
he ate Ben and he turned him into a monolith.
Yeah, I'm coming for you next, Mike.
Well,
I'm coming for you next.
I don't know.
I'm gonna make you into a monolith in South Dakota.
I've seen Space Jam. I know how to defeat aliens, bro.
Okay,
I'll dunk on you.
All right.
Listen, and Snyder will come and protect me. He always does.
Daddy
he
Snyder
always comes back. Daddy Snyder always
good old
comes
Daddy
back.
Snyder.
He always comes back. He always delivers. Listen, we're getting a Snyder cut because he delivers. Yeah.
Speaking of crappy comic book movies.
Oof.
So isn't there something really weird going on with Hawkeye as well?
So, dude, I don't know what's going on with this Hawkeye series. I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time I read more news about it, I'm like, what? What is happening here?
Is it really like? Is it gonna be a disaster?
You know, I would like it to not be. I would love to see Jeremy Renner like going full out, but like, you know, Kate Bishop, she's a big character in the comics. I'm cool with like Hawkeye being like, listen, I'm going to train you. You're going to be the next Hawkeye. We're doing our thing. But now we're getting news that like other people, like they're introducing other backdoor characters, and they're going to be talking about introducing other superheroes. And then we're also hearing that like, you know, the new Black Widow is going to be in it. And apparently they're just going to replace Scarlett Johansson with some other chick that's like, I'm the new Black Widow now. This is what I do. Like, what is
Nobody
this?
wants that.
Nobody wants that. All I wanted to see was Jeremy Renner shooting mofos with arrows, and then Kate Bishop coming in and being like, I'll shoot mofos with arrows too.
Yeah.
And now they're like, listen, you need a new Black Widow. Listen.
Oh, man.
You need a bunch of these other heroes to show up as well. Like, listen. And everything that I've heard about this series doesn't make me want to watch it.
It sounds like terrible.
It feels like it's getting way cringier than I expected it to.
Oh no, dude! It would be nice right off the bat. It'd be nice if we could just even get something from Disney Plus when it comes to one of these series. I mean, it's been over a year now. We haven't gotten anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be kind of nice if we got something at least. You know, to start with. And wait, when is WandaVision supposed to be coming out? Isn't that like spring of next year or something?
Eventually. I don't know, because they keep, you know, like, that's the thing. Why isn't it coming out now? Like, why didn't they shoot it a long time ago? As of right now, I think the release date is eventually. It's supposed to come out in 2019.
Oh, wow.
Premiere on January 15th, 2021. Apparently, it's the beginning of phase 4. That is the beginning of phase 4, is WandaVision.
So that's coming pretty soon then. Okay. So that's good. It's coming out in like a month.
Yeah, but like, then what?
Yeah, and then, I mean...
And then what? And then we're going to get maybe Hawkeye, maybe Falcon Winter Soldier. You've heard nothing about that one. Yeah. Even though that would be the one that I was the most excited about. But they're like, well, like Falcon's Captain America now. Okay, whatever. And you're like, but is that a whatever? And they're like, listen, like, we got to talk about this Hawkeye series and the fact that they're introducing a character called Echo, who is like Daredevil, except she's deaf. But like, apparently Hawkeye's mentor, Swordsman, is going to be in it. I don't know. And then apparently, like, the villain Clown. I don't even know who Clown is.
What?
Like, I don't even know who Clown is.
Watch out for Clown. Oh boy. So are they doing like an It crossover or something, or what?
Well, you know, that would be great, but you know that's not going to happen. I don't know. Like, that's my thing. Like, I mean, I'm sure there are some people that are like big fans and big enough fans to know who Clown is, but like, nothing I've heard about the series makes me go like, ooh, this is going to be pumped. The only thing I'm excited about is Jeremy Renner. And even with that, it sounds like he's going to be barely in his own show with all these other characters that they got to introduce. I don't know.
Man.
Marvel is, I don't know what they're doing, man. You know, like I don't know what they're doing.
Dude, they were like killing it. They were just like on a roll. They were just like destroying the game. They were out there just winning. Complete W's all the time.
Yep. And then they're like, you know what? Let's just make a bunch of TV shows and see what sticks. Loki's already been like renewed for season 2. I haven't even seen a trailer for Loki season 1.
Right?
Yeah.
What the heck is going on?
Dude, I don't know what's going on anymore. Listen, I don't know what's happening with Marvel. The one thing I can say for sure is a constant is that Warner Brothers is giving me Space Jam 2. I can't ask for more than that. I can't.
Oh man. I'm glad you're happy about that. I'm glad you're excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
I might be eventually. We'll see.
But you know what? We're also talking about some other interesting developments. And speaking of Marvel, we knew that, and we talked about the fact that Oscar Isaac had been rumored to be playing Moon Knight. Well, apparently Oscar Isaac also, because he's the greatest actor ever, one of the greatest actors ever. We saw Michael Jordan in Space Jam, but apparently he has also been cast as Solid Snake in the new Metal Gear Solid series.
That actually is like perfection. Not gonna lie.
That's what I'm saying. I was actually surprised. I think he's gonna kill it. I think he's gonna do a great job. Yeah.
Me too. Oscar Isaac is like he's amazing. He's amazing. Yeah.
He Sony doesn't have a great track record with movies. They occasionally get good stuff, occasionally don't. I don't know how you mess. I can see how you mess up Metal Gear.
Yeah.
But if you just do it if you just do it right, Metal Gear can be a great franchise. I watched the crap out of Metal Gear franchise,
right?
Especially with Oscar Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fantastic. So I think that there's, I think that as long as Sony doesn't mess stuff up with it, it should be pretty good. So I think that he will do a fantastic job as Snake Eyes. And honestly, that's like perfect casting. I can't even think of somebody else that could probably beat him at that. So I think he'll do a great job. And as long as he gets a good script, then he'll be fine. He'll do a fantastic job. So
Sony don't mess this up.
Although they gave they gave Assassin's Creed to Michael Fassbender and it didn't really work out.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's very fair. But
I wouldn't say that that's Michael's fault. I'd say that's
not at all.
The movie is just crap.
There's always hope, because it's not going to be crap. Space Jam 2. And you know what else isn't going to be crap? The Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Yeah.
Listen, if you ever need something to think about, something to give you hope, just know 2021, that's our year.
That's our year.
That's the year.
Yeah.
Space Jam 2, Snyder Cut. I don't need anything else. Cancel all the other movies for 2021. Cancel Doom. Cancel
everything. Dude, no. Don't say that. Don't say that, dude.
And the Snyder Cut of Justice League, and forget it. I don't need to watch anything else. My life is made. I'm good.
Wow.
Oh, you can give me Mortal Kombat as well.
Oh, come on. And no Dune? Oh, dude, you're killing me. Killing me, Smalls.
Well, it was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and then I found out that Space Jam 2 was definitely happening. What am I supposed to do here? Man? My hands are tied at this point.
Man, I don't know. I love Daddy Denny too much to not be the most hyped about Dune for sure. So I will say if it comes to the point where I'm only going to be able to watch Dune on a crappy TV instead of the theater, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not
That's fair.
Happy at all.
That's fair.
And that actually might kill some of the excitement for the movie for me. Because I feel like that's a movie you need to see on the big screen. You need to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Space Jam 2, you could watch that at home on the TV and be fine.
That is not correct.
That'd be fine.
You have to watch that in the theaters. Space Jam is an experience, and we all know this. Listen, guys, Josiah is always messing with people. He does this all the time. Space Jam is his most anticipated movie of the year. We all know this. We all know that Space Jam 2 is what the world needs right now.
Yeah.
It will save us all.
I hope you're right. Oh,
I know.
I just hope that a Monolith makes a cameo appearance in it. That's all I hope.
How could it not? That's what I'm saying. How could it not? It's the Monolith.
Yeah, we need monoliths everywhere. More monoliths, the better. In fact, I might just go plant a monolith in my backyard today. Who knows?
Well, apparently they're popping up all over the world, so apparently that's just a thing now.
Yeah.
The one in Utah just disappeared, and then one shows up in California.
Yeah, and then Romania tries. And
Well, that's the thing.
yeah,
Listen, if you're gonna put a monolith somewhere, please don't do what Romania did. Don't just weld one in your backyard and then like try to buff it out with like a belt sander and then throw it in the middle of like a field somewhere.
Yeah,
Like, Romania, step up your game. You know better.
come on.
You know
come
better.
on.
You knew better before you put that out in the field. Like put a blanket over it or something. Oh my gosh. If you guys don't know what we're talking about, go look up the monolith from Romania. Like
It's bad.
you can see the welds in it. You can see that they try to buff it out with a belt sander.
It's
and then you look
bad.
over in Utah and there's this beautiful, clean, smooth monolith. Gorgeous.
It's
the
sexy.
one in California. Smooth, clean, beautiful. And then Romania.
So hot.
Yep.
So hot.
Listen, if you're going to put up a monolith, if you're an alien or a person, whoever's doing it, it's probably aliens, or if you're a person that tries to do it, don't do what Romania did, please.
Yeah.
Have some standards.
Have some self-respect.
Have some self-respect. Like, don't put some crappy monolith up that I can see from miles away and can tell it's just badly constructed.
And listen, that's why America's the best, and Romania just sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They try and they fail. So
what I bet is going on in Romania right now? You know what I bet is in Romania right now?
What's that?
Ben's in Romania.
Yes.
That's what we figured out.
Ben is Romanian. Yes.
Ben is Romanian, and he is in Romania. He probably is that crappy monolith.
He probably is. Yeah.
That's what happened.
That makes sense. That
They're
absolutely makes sense.
The aliens are like, listen, we tried really hard, but we couldn't do it. Not with this guy. Drop him in Romania. Nobody likes it there anyways.
Put the crappy one in Romania.
Yeah, drop it. Drop that one in Romania.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Well, it is.
Anyway, you know what? I think that's the show for this week. We talked about all sorts of crap.
Sad stuff.
The
best stuff.
The best stuff.
Space Jam 2.
Dune and
Space Jam 2.
And release the Jackson cut. That's all I ask for. That's all I
release the Jackson cut for this guy. I mean, I'm already getting the Snyder cut, so I have everything I need. But he needs the Jackson cut.
Please. In fact, Warner Brothers, if you want to hire me to go through all 3 films, and I will edit it down into one movie.
You heard it.
Boom.
Warner Brothers. If you're listening,
I will literally do it for free.
Do it.
Literally do it for free.
Literally.
Give me the permission. Give me the equipment. I will do it. I will absolutely freaking do it.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, that's the show for this week. We hope you all enjoyed. Thank you so much for coming out and watching the episode or listening to it or however you experience our podcast. We appreciate it a lot. If you guys could leave a like or leave a rating, a review, something, all of that really helps out the podcast. So we appreciate that. Thank you so much, everyone. And we will catch you all next week. Peace. Release Jackson cut.